Alright everybody, and welcome back. Phantom Zwei here. And we are picking up before the Suzuha choice end, before the text that we had to send, at least that's what it seemed, to send Suzuha back to the past, the D-mail. So here we are. When we get back, Daru is seated at his computer, head on the table. Kurisu is standing in front of the TV, watching an excited reporter talk about Radio Kaiken. The disappearance of the satellite is huge news, obviously. The lounge is silent, save for the TV. I look at the table. The divergence meter still reads 0.337187%. It hasn't changed since before Suzuha left. What went wrong? I can't go back 10 years with the time leap machine. I can't do anything about Suzuha's death. Should I have stopped her from leaving after all? Maybe then this tragedy wouldn't have happened. No. What choice did I have? I can't save Mayuri without an IBM 5100. Suzuha has to travel to 1975. I consider my options. What if I redo these 2 days again? Could Daru fix the time machine so that this doesn't happen? Is fixing the time machine even possible? Daru's skills are second to none, and the time machine was built by his own hand 26 years in the future. It seems logical that he would be able to fix it. But look at it another way. It took Daru 26 years to learn enough to build the time machine, and he had to reverse engineer CERNs to do it. Maybe it's unreasonable to expect our Daru to perform flawless repairs in only 2 days. In that case, can I have Daru use the time leap machine and repeat these 2 days until he repairs it? No, he'll have to start from scratch each time. 2 days just aren't enough. I collapse on the sofa and bury my face in my hands. Mayuri sits next to me and gently rubs my back. I'm grateful for her kindness. I recall what Suzuha wrote. If you can go back to that day, please, please let me leave. The D-mail I sent. Could that be the cause? On the original world line, Suzuha leapt to 1975 after failing to meet her father. Unsatisfied with that outcome, I sent a D-mail to convince myself to follow Suzuha and prevent her from leaving. As a result, she remained in 2010 for an additional 4 days. But that night, the time machine was damaged by a thunderstorm. If I hadn't followed Suzuha that day, if I hadn't sent that D-mail to myself, her time machine would not have malfunctioned. She would have arrived safely in 1975. The solution is obvious. I need to cancel that D-mail. But can I really do that? If I change the past so that Suzuha leaves, won't that undo the 4 days that we spent together? Our frantic search through the streets of Akiba. Her heartfelt confession on the roof of Radio Kaiken. Her tearful reunion with her father, Daru. All of it will be undone. What do I do? An urgent bulletin pops up on the TV. I look up in surprise. Bomb threat suspends Yamanote, Shobu, Keihin Toku lines. Damn, Moeka's men will be here at any minute. There's no time to think, no time to hesitate. I run downstairs, break into the Brontu workshop, and turn on the 42-inch CRT. Then I return to the lab and activate the time leap machine. Kurisu demands answers. I can see the fear in her eyes. Don't try to stop me, Mayuri. I can't let this stand. There are 2 options. I can cancel the D-mail that convinced me to pursue Suzuha. Sending a contradictory D-mail should do the trick. Or I can time leap again and prevent Suzuha from leaving. 2 options, but really just one. Can we go ahead and do it? Part-time warrior. Okay, it won't let me do it yet. Do not hesitate, Okabe Rintaro. Hesitation is unforgivable. You already know what you must do. Stop pursuit. last mail is CERN Trap. That should be enough to convince me to let Suzuha go.
クリス、お前は日付を正確に覚えている直後に会ったの？
ええ、まあ。
鈴葉の励まし会がやったのはいつだ
？4日前、8月9日。
あかり、Dメールを送るの？でもそうしたら全部消えちゃうんだよ。
4 days. It may not sound like much, but in that time we forged a definite bond with Suzuha. To send this email is to sever that bond. I know that. I know that! But this is the only choice I have. I set the phone wave to 120 hours ago. This email should arrive a few hours after the first. Now I just need to send it. Alright. Send. I start up the microwave. The discharge begins immediately. I place my thumb on the send button.
いいの？
Mayuri's voice is choked with tears.
すずさんとの思い出消えちゃうんだよ。本当にそれでいいの？
Memories flash through my head.
ほんのちょっとの間でも君たちと一緒にいられてよかった。父さんのやろうとしていたことを私が絶対やり遂げるから。それじゃあ35年後に会いましょう。君たちにとっては数時間後か。お願い、未来を変えてほしい。
Suzuha, I've made my choice. I won't ask for your forgiveness. Ultimately, I'm doing this to save Mayuri. But at the same time, the words you spoke on that rooftop are still strong in my heart. You entrusted me your hope for the future. If I'm to honor that wish and fulfill mine, then the time we spent together can never have happened. Oh man, more divergence. Metaphysics Necrosis. Chapter 7, Maiden Complex. The world shatters into geometric shapes that expand and contract like rubber toys. Light gathers between my eyes. Stars explode behind my eyelids. Gradually, color returns to the world. I wait for the vertigo to pass. Cold sweat oozes from my temples. Pressing my fists against them, I slowly force the air out of my lungs. Has the world line changed? I head to the lounge in order to check the divergence meter. I checked the meter a few minutes ago, just before the world line changed. Now it's nowhere to be found. I quickly realize what's happened. Suzuha gave me the meter after we stopped her from leaving. My D-mail undid those events. Of course the meter isn't there. A surge of regret seizes my heart. I clench my teeth and endure it as best I can. If nobody else remembers, then I alone will keep those memories of Suzuha alive. I look around the room. Mayuri and Kurisu are on the sofa, dozing at each other's shoulders. Daru, oblivious to the vulnerable high school girls behind him, is playing on an AirOG on his computer. I take a deep breath and turn on the TV. I flip to a news channel. The world line should have changed. I erased the time we spent with Suzuha. That should have allowed her to leap to 1975 without losing her memories, and the IBM 5100 should be in our hands now. We can use it to hack into CERN and erase the data they intercepted from us. Without that information, Moeka's men won't attack the lab. Mayuri won't have to die. That's how it should be. That's how it has to be. Otherwise, why did I sacrifice Suzuha's dream? The quickest way to confirm the change would be to check for any delays at Akihabara Station.
ダメ。山手線は止まっているか？
は？いや、止まってないんじゃね？
ネットで調べてくれ。
今いいところなのに。
頼む。
Daru sighs and calls up the train information.
やっぱ止まってないみたいだお。
ありがとう。
The world line has changed, which means that our IBM 5100 should be in the development room. I head back there to search for it, but contrary to my expectations, I can't find it anywhere. What's going on? I look at my watch. It's 7:43 p.m. Moika's min attack at what time again? My heart is pounding like a drum. That D-mail was supposed to fix everything. The trains are moving as scheduled, which means that Moika's men aren't about to attack. So why does it feel like nothing's fixed at all? The IBM 5100's absence is extremely disturbing. I want to sit down and think about where it could have gone, but a voice in my head is screaming that there's no time. I need to calm down. It's hard to think straight after everything that's happened. I check my watch again. 7:46 p.m. Images from the assault flash through my mind. Mayuri bleeding to death on the floor. The smell of gunpowder in the air. I frantically shake the visions out of my head. I look towards the lab entrance. The door has yet to be kicked in by a team of hitmen. I swallow hard, petrified with terror. Please don't let anything happen. It's past 9. I peek at the street through the window. Nobody's there.
オカリン、誰か待ってんの？さっきからやたら下を気にしてっけど。
Daru's right. I've probably looked out the window 20 times in the past hour. And not a suspicious figure in sight. Moika's men still haven't appeared. The raid was before 8, if I remember correctly. I think it's safe to say that my changes to the past have prevented it from occurring. Suzuha's sacrifice was not in vain. I let out a deep breath. I'm sweaty and disgusting. It's like my anxiety has pushed all the sweat out of my body.
Mayuri, それにクリス。
The two girls woke up from their nap about half an hour ago. Now they're eating cup noodles.
今あんた、私の名前、普通に呼んだ？
Carissa looks at me in astonishment, like she can't believe her ears.
二人とも食事が終わったら帰るのに。もう遅いから送っていく。
そうする。
別に岡部なんかに送ってもらわなくても一人で帰れるんだけど。
いいから。誰も支度しておけ。
え？僕も？
The train lines running through Akihabara are operating normally. There's no bomb scare, and no sign of Moika or her men. Karitsu's taking the Sobu line to the next station, Ochan Umizu, while Daru's going the opposite way to Shin Koiwa. Mayuri and I are taking the Yamanote line to Ikebukuro, so we parted the station's ticket gate. There are surprisingly few passengers on the train. I guess most of the salarymen are off on the open holiday. Mayuri is playing a handheld game, the Rainet Kakero action RPG. On the screen, her character is battling a gigantic Uba. I stand beside her and gaze at her profile, lost in thought. It's the night of the 13th, and Mayuri's still alive. How many times have I watched her die? How many times have I tasted that despair? No matter what I did, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't save this ditzy childhood friend of mine from death. She died again and again, right before my eyes. But now she's alive, standing beside me, playing a game. This is why I sacrificed our memories with Suzuha. It was the only way. I'm sorry, Suzuha. And thank you. Suzuha no longer exists in this time, but I hope my feelings will reach her all the same. Actually, come to think of it, why can't I tell her in person? Where in Akiba could the 54-year-old Suzuha be? I'll try asking Tenochi tomorrow. He probably knows Suzuha on this world line too. I wonder if Suzuha remembers me. Mayuri suddenly lifts her head. She looks at me hesitantly. Her cheeks are slightly pink.
ゲームオーバーに。
I apologize, but keep looking at her. Instead of starting a new game, Mayuri looks to me with concern.
今日のオカリ、なんだかいつもと違うような気がするよ。
The air humidifier you have looks like an Oopa cactus. That's interesting.
そうか。
どうかしたの？
I remind myself that Mayuri is more perceptive than she seems. She proved that when she figured out that Daru was Suzaha's father. I don't want to worry her too much. I want Mayuri to smile her usual ditzy smile without a care in the world. After all, it's over now. She's safe.
俺は何も変わってはいない。今もお前の顔を見ていたのだ。いかに世界に混沌をもたらすかを考えていたのだ。
After all, he is Hoin Kyoma. Hey there, Rice Master. How's it going?
本当に？無理してない？
この狂気のマッドサイエンティストに無理なことなど一つもない。常に IQ170 を誇る灰色の脳細胞が完璧な計算を叩き出しているのだからな。
Now, I can't really look at the picture while I'm streaming, but I believe you, Cactus.
でもね、たまにはボケーって休むことも必要なんだよ。そのことをね、忘れないでね、オカリ。
Having said that, Mayuri returns to her game. I feel cold stares all around me, but I don't care at all. Mayuri's here with me, doing everyday Mayuri things. Ordinary things. Everything's going back to normal. Yesterday was my first time home in a while, so I slept like a log in my comfortable bed. It could be because of my mental exhaustion, but that was my best night's sleep in a while. Before heading up to the lab, I stop and stare at the Braun Tube workshop. The familiar mountain bike is gone. Suzaha liked it so much, she insisted on bringing it with her to 1975. The workshop door opens, and out comes Mr. Braun, rubbing his eyes sleepily.
岡部、お前ずいぶん暇そうだな。うちでバイトしねえか。今なら特別に月給ブラウン管1台で雇ってやる。
1 CRT a month? So for 1 month's worth, I get an old television. Hell no.
鈴葉はいつ頃辞めたんでしたっけ？
鈴葉？誰だそいつは。
Oh man. What? Was her existence erased completely? But that's impossible.
たった10日ばかりで辞めてくようなゆとりバイトの名前なんざとっくに忘れちまったぜ。
紛らわしい言い方を。
Oh, okay. So Suzaha did work here. That fact, the evidence that Suzaha's sojourn to 2010 still remains on this world line.
せっかく俺が楽でいると思ったのによ。だから嫌なんだ。最近の若いのは根性なしもいいところだぜ。どうせ面接の時に言ってたブラウン管が好きってのも嘘だったんだろうよ。まんまと騙されちまった。
Tenoji shrugs his shoulders, annoyed. Naturally, he doesn't know about Suzaha's true identity.
橋田鈴という人を知っていますか？
At this, Tenoji's eyes go wide.
難しい名前だな。おめえ、知り合いだったのか？
I knew her, so she still died. Knew her?
その人を。
かれこれ10年になるか。
Oh no. 10 years. 10 years since what? No. I don't want to know the answer. Tenoji has a faraway look in his eyes, as if he's gazing into the past.
あの人には随分世話になった。
Why are you talking about her in past tense?
天涯孤独だったらしくてな。せめて俺が見とってやりたかったんだが。
At the end, there's only one thing that can mean. Even though the world line changed, Suzaha didn't survive to the year of 2010.
ま、こう言っちゃなんだが、死に顔は穏やかだったよ。
穏やか。自殺じゃないのか？
自殺？ おめえそれ誰から吹き込まれたんだよ。すずさんは病気で亡くなったんだ。根も葉もねえ話を信じてんじゃねえ。
She was sick. Sickness killed her. I shouldn't feel good about that. But I guess you could say it's better than what happened before the world line changed. That's what I tell myself anyway.
で、おめえとすずさんはどういう知り合いだった？
昔俺も世話になったんです。もう一度会いたいって思っていたのに。
あの人が住んでた家は今俺が使ってんだ。位牌もそこにある。なんなら手を合わせに来るか。
I nod without a moment's hesitation. Tenoji closes up shop, and we head off towards his house. From Chuodori, we head towards the station. I scan the Akiba scenery as we walk. Moe stores are still nowhere to be found in this world line. After a little hesitation, I look up at Radio Kaiken. It's gone. The satellite has vanished. All that's left is the hole it made when it arrived in this time.
例の人工衛星いつ消えたんでしたっけ？
ああ、5日前ぐらいじゃなかったか。世の中奇妙なことが起きるもんだな。
Which means Suzaha left before it rained. Like Tenoji said, his house is closer than expected. We take the train to the next station, Okachimachi, then walk for about 5 minutes to get to a quiet residential area. This old one-story house is where Suzaha once lived. I walk up to the front door of the house, and there I see a familiar sight. Suzaha's bicycle. For a moment, I can see her there, squatting beside the bicycle. But the mountain bike Suzaha rode to the Bronto workshop was shiny and new. Now it's old and covered in rust.
その自転車はすずさんがすっげえ大事にしてたんだよ。晩年は自分で乗ることはなかったけどな。それでも週に一度はフレームを磨いてた。処分することもできなくて、結局10年もそこに置いたままだ。俺もできるだけ整備はしてるんだが、さすがに錆が目立ってきてるな。
I gently put my hand on the seat. It's warm from sitting out in the sun. I suppose that for the few days Suzaha was in Akiba, this bicycle existed in 2 places at the same time. The house isn't as messy inside as I expected, considering the state of the Bronto workshop. I guess that chipmunk keeps the place clean. A wave of nausea hits me when I recall what Nai did at Ochan Omizu Station. But I tell myself that it was just an accident. Besides, that incident has already been undone. Tenjo Nai has done nothing wrong. Next to the living room is a child's room. There's a child's study desk and a red backpack on the floor. Nai isn't here. Which reminds me, Tenoji's daughter visits the workshop often, but not once have I seen his wife. He couldn't have married Suzaha, could he? I mean, she should have been a lot older than him when they met. But as they say, love knows no bounds. I wonder what really happened. I don't know how I'd feel if those two were married. That would make Daru Tenoji's father-in-law. Actually, that would be kind of interesting. I turn to the Buddhist altar to pay my respects to Suzaha. There's no picture of her, so there's no way to know what Ashida Suzu looked like at the age of 44. I make an offering of incense to her, then look around the house again. This is the house Suzaha lived in after leaping to 1975.
俺とすずさんは最初、いわゆるお隣さんだったんだよ。
For some reason, Tenoji offers me a beer. When I decline, he shakes his head and starts drinking it himself.
俺はヨーロッパ生まれのヨーロッパ育ちでな。
は？それはギャグですか？
んだよってめえ。俺は英語もフランス語もペラペラだぞこら。
He really doesn't look like someone who lived abroad. I guess you can't judge a book by its cover.
両親が死んで15年ぐらい前に日本に帰ってきたんだよ。でも俺にとっては生まれて初めての日本だった。この国について何にも知らねえ俺の面倒を見てくれたのが隣に一人で住んでたすずさんだったってわけだな。
Alright, now's my chance. If I'm gonna ask, it's now or never.
結婚を
結婚？
すずさんと。
アホか。
Whew. I knew she'd never marry a guy like him.
あの人は随分ストイックに生きてたよ。人付き合いもあまりなかったみたいだ。けどな、俺にはよくしてくれた。ここに越してきて1年ぐらい経った時、俺の家が火事で全焼してな。俺のタバコの不始末が原因だから自業自得なんだよ。その時に全財産なくした俺をこの家で下宿させてくれたんだ。それだけじゃねえ。工房のあるあの大檜山ビルな。あれもともとすずさんの持ち物だったんだぞ。
え？
それを格安で譲ってもらったんだ。おかげで俺はブラウン管工房を構えることができたってわけだ。あの人は俺の恩人だよ。ある時、なんだって縁もゆかりもねえのにこんなによくしてくれるんですかって聞いたことがあんだんだ。そしたらあの人は笑ってこう答えて、巡り巡って人は誰かに親身にしてもらうことになってる。だから君もいずれ誰かに親身にしてあげなさいってな。なんだか不思議な人だったぜ。預言者みたいにこれから起きる出来事をピタリピタリと言い当てたりしてな。
Suzuha. That was probably her way of repaying Tennoji's looking after her, even though it was just for 10 days. And so it came full circle.
しかし世間ってのは狭いな。あの人のことを知ってる人間がこんな近いところにいたとは。そうだ、ちょっと待ってろ。
Tennoji goes into the child's room next door, then returns and places an object on the table.
Huh?
Oh snap! It's Suzuha's divergence meter. Before the world line changed, it was in the lab. But on this world line, Suzuha brought the meter with her to 1975. It's been in this house for 35 years. The tubes read 0.409431%. Divergence has changed, just like Suzuha said. This proves that my magic eye, reading Steiner, does indeed allow me to perceive changes to the world line. But what does that mean? I recall what Suzuha said.
メーターの数値が 1% を超えた時、君はベータ世界線にたどり着いたことになる。
Does that mean that I'm still on the Alpha world line?
それ何の数字を表してるかわかるか？いや、さっぱりわからなくてな。この10年その数字からピクリとも変わりゃしねえ。ただすずさんは病床からいつもこのメーターを眺めてた。上ごとのようにつぶやいてたよ。この数字は変わる前なのかな、変わった後なのかな、私は変えられたのかな。そんな風に一日に何回もな。
I touched the device. Suzuha. In my heart, I reach out to the girl who died 10 years ago, to the girl who will be born 7 years from now, to the girl who crossed time to save the future. Suzuha, thanks to you, my Yuri is safe. Divergence has changed, but we haven't yet reached your ultimate goal. 1% divergence. Once that's achieved, the future you dreamed of will become a reality. I will carry on your fight, Suzuha. I promise. I realize that I'm crying. Tennoji stares at me for a moment, then puts his giant hand on my shoulder.
オカリー
Mayuri comes out of the ticket gate and walks up to me with an unhurried stride.
トゥットゥルーまさかね、本当に駅まで迎えに来てくれるなんて思わなかった。マユシーはびっくりなのです。
人質に逃げられては困るからな。
困るよね。それでね、マユシーはとっても嬉しいよ。
I don't quite understand, but whatever. Mayuri flashes a carefree smile and then walks ahead of me, almost skipping.
ねえ、その抱えてる荷物って何？
ミスター・ブラウンから譲ってもらったんだ。世界線の数値を測ることのできるオーパートナー。
なんだかすごそうだね。でも世界線の数値って？
I smile wryly.
マユリは本当にバカだな。
What am I doing? After I left Tenoji's house, I called Mayuri to ask when she would arrive in Akiba. Then I went to the station to pick her up. Anxiety still smolders in my heart. We managed to survive yesterday, but that doesn't guarantee our safety forever. It's entirely possible for Moeka to attack now, on the afternoon of the 14th. Maybe I'm being overprotective, but I can't shake the image of Mayuri's death from my mind. I don't ever want to have to go through that again.
マユリ、例えばの話だが、コミマが終わるまで秋葉に来るのはやめた方がいいのではないか。
No response. I look to the side.
いない。
Panicked, I scan the area and catch sight of her wandering towards a newly opened shave eye stand. That ditz! Can't she tell how worried I am?
岡部って尽くすタイプなのね。
Karisu is glaring at me with an iced coffee in her hand. We're in the lab, which appears to have become her second home.
何がだ？
I'm sitting at the computer, searching for intel on the IBM 5100. I still don't know where it is. I went to Yanabayashi's shrine this morning, but alas, it wasn't there. Suzuha promised to get us one somehow, her gift to us from 1975. Without it, we can't hack into CERN's database, meaning that we can't achieve divergence over 1%.
あんたがマユリをお姫様扱いし始めた件について今日は駅までお迎えに上がってお昼ご飯は毒味までしてここまでは手をつないで歩いてきたと。
あのね、マユシーはオカリンに愛されちゃってるね。
Does she have to tell Karisu of all people? Mayuri is so carefree as she stuffs her cheeks with takoyaki. I'm pretty sure she's smiling not because of my love, but because of the takoyaki's deliciousness. Typical Mayuri. But seriously, did you have to tell Karisu?
で、実際のところどうなんだ？
どう？
前から不思議だったのよね。あんたたちって付き合ってるの？
そう見えるのか？
それは。
Just what sort of delusions does this girl
あ
have?
のね、オカリンとマユシーは小さい頃からずっとお友達なんだよ。
食べながら話すのはかな。
じゃあ付き合ってないんだ。まあ誰も岡部みたいな変人と付き合おうとは思わないし当然よね。
クリスティーナよ。お前には失望したぞ。
Oh man, here we go again. Christina has returned.
は？何よいきなり。
I'm still waiting for a zombie, though.
俺は気づいてしまったのだ。
Is he gonna call her a tsundere?
恋の話になる。途端に食いつき方が変わる。そんなお前はスイーツかっこ笑いに他ならない。
Filthy. So filthy.
恋の話を恋バナと読んでしまうお年頃だな。少子。そんなお花畑の持ち主をこの法院京馬と我がラボは求めていないぞ。
It feels strange to be spewing this chewing bio nonsense again after what I've been through. Yeah, is my innocence lost forever?
マッドサイエンティストかっこ自称の中二病患者が何言ってやがりますか。
It's been a long time since I argued with Kurisu like this too. The thought suddenly brings a pang of loneliness. After failing to save Mayuri, I sought help from this genius girl. Even though her words at times were harsh, she supported and encouraged me to the end. But now, all of that's vanished along with the time we spent with Suzuha. Thank you for your help, Kurisu. I silently give her my sincere gratitude. I finished typing on the X68000's keyboard and sigh, then turned to the divergence meter sitting on the shelf. The display reads 0.409431%. What does that mean?
世界の構造はより糸みたいなものなの。いくつもの可能性世界線が重ね合わせの状態になってて、常に無限メーターの数値が 1% を超えたとき、君はベータ世界線にたどり着いたことになる。アトラクタフィールドアルファの範囲外、ベータ世界線へ到達すれば収束する結果も変わる。そう、1% を突破さえできたら椎名真由里は助けられるっていうこと。
Then, does that mean that I haven't saved her? Divergence is still less than 1%. Is the world still converging on Mayuri's death? It can't be. It can't be. I mean, nothing happened yesterday. Don't be like that, Okabe. Mayuri's here, safe and sound. So nothing will happen to her. It won't. I want to believe that, but the doubt within my heart is growing, thick and black. I can hardly think about anything else now. No matter how hard I stare at it, the number on the meter doesn't move doesn't change a digit. So far, reading Steiner is only activated after we spin past changing D-mails. What about when I time leap? The vertigo I feel when I time leap might be caused by reading Steiner. Or maybe it's just a side effect of the memory transfer. It's impossible to know. In any case, I've prepared for the worst. I've already set up the time leap machine's timer to send my memories 3 hours into the past. And with Daru's help, I found a remote for the 42-inch CRT downstairs. Our previous phone wave, name subject to change, experiments made a hole in the floor. Instead of fixing the hole, I made it bigger. The 42-inch CRT is right under the hole, so if I point the remote at the hole and press the power button, the TV turns on. Now, should things go wrong, I can time leap at a moment's notice. I also have the future gadget number 4, Moed Snake, on hand, in case of an emergency.
Okabe,
Kurisu enters the development room.
タイムリープマシンの実験はしないんじゃなかったの？
もしもの時のためだ。
もしもって？
I don't want to answer that. I keep praying that my fears will not be realized. It's okay. Everything will be okay. They didn't attack yesterday, so they won't attack today. At the very least, we've changed Mayuri's fate. But still, I can't help but pray. Please let Mayuri be safe. Please don't let anything happen. My prayers go unanswered. Oh shit. Oh shit! The door slams open. 5 men burst into the lab. God damn it. I recognize them, the Rounders. They aim their guns at us. I freeze. Despair seizes my heart. My worst fears have come true. It's happening exactly the same as before. Only this time, Suzuha isn't here to save us. Even the dark-skinned man's words are the same. Eventually, the pleasant clack of heels echoes down the hallway.
萌香さん、
タイムマシンを回収させてもらう。
Damn it! I suppress my terror and grab Mayuri's arm. The crew cut man says something he hasn't before.
牧瀬クリス、岡部倫太郎、橋田至3名については 我々と一緒に来てもらう。抵抗は許されない。とにかく来て。あなたたちに逃げ場はないわ。私たちの仲間はすでに秋葉原中に散らばっている。
What do I do? Should I use my concealed Moed snake right now? Use it? And then time leap? But Mayuri hasn't been killed yet. There's a chance she might not be killed on this world line.
そこの貴様
The crew-cut man points his gun at me. My heartbeat jumps up. Cold sweat breaks out all over my body.
両手を上げろと言ったはずだ
I've only raised my left.
何を隠してる
I have to use it. I swallow my fear and activate Moed Snake. White smoke instantly fills the room, rendering it impossible to see. The rounders won't be able to aim through this. I have to hit the time leap while it lasts. I grab Mayuri's hand and fumble through the snake toward the smoke even towards the development room. I hear the sound of guns firing wildly behind me. And of course she's hit. Suddenly, Mayuri's arm gets heavy. I trip forward and land on my face. Our hands are separated in the fall. I grope around and soon find her slender hand. Mayuri's feeble whisper reaches my ears. Was she hit? The rounder's blind shot hit Mayuri? Mayuri's voice quickly fades away. Strength drains from her fingers. But Mayuri doesn't answer. I'm sorry, Mayuri. Once again, I failed to save you. I thought I'd succeeded, but I was wrong. I hear my teeth grinding in my head.
撃たないで
I hear Kurisu and Daru screaming as the gunfire continues. A sharp pain flares at the top of my head. I press down with my hand. It comes away soaked with blood. Time leap! It hurts, it hurts, it hurts! It feels like someone took a saw to my skull. My ears are ringing. I stumble. I can't stand up straight. I need to get to the time leap machine. I squeeze Mayuri's limp hand one last time, then crawl to the development room, fumble for the headgear, and put it on. I point the remote control and press the power button. The TV turns on downstairs. I can hear people laughing on screen. Shit! I clench my fists in frustration. The time leap machine is already activated. The discharge phenomenon is starting. The floor begins to shake. Once again, I leap to the past.